Hello, I'm Dunk Dinkle. This is not a SOTA, but if it was, the state of Brave would be strong. Oh, I can't see anything with these on. I take this off. Yikes. All right, so let's talk about the war. When the war started, we said this would be a long war, and nothing has changed. We've been going on 4 or 5 months. It's been hard. Our enemy continues to fight back. They're not giving up. I don't think they're going to give up anytime soon. We're making a lot of advances. Our opponent is still pushing some narratives that are trying to split up the Good Guys Coalition, but it's just kind of falling flat. That's their way. That's what they're going to do. There's a lot of goalposts moving, you're right, but it's important we don't get too wound up about it, right? Like, this is just the way they are, this is their culture, and the way they talk about the war and how they motivate each other. There's no reason to get frustrated or get into internet fights over stuff like this. The truth is on grid and in space. You can look at the map, you can see that we're making advancement continuously. We're in Delve now. There's stuff going on every day. Things are going back and forth, which is good. People are keeping busy. We could not have done this without our allies in this fight. They are just as committed to this fight as we are. We haven't always been the best of friends in the past, but we are working together in this war to keep everybody busy. And it's been good fighting alongside so many different people that we've never really got to know before. So I will raise a toast. This is to our allies in the war. Whew. All right. And the truth about the war is this year is a pretty terrible year in the real world. And if something as crazy as a video game can give people a little bit of relief on every side of this war, then it's a good thing. Keeping people fun and distracted from all the terrible things that are going on is good. So I'm glad people are fighting. I'm glad that we have something to do this year with all the changes that CCP has been putting through us. So this is a reminder, we don't have to hate the Imperium. We love that they show up for fights. We love that there's kind of shenanigans going on all the time. It gives people something to do. It gives people a chance to use their big toys. It gives us a chance to show newer players what big fights are really like. This war has been a lot of fun for a lot of people, despite all the herf blurf and the Reddit posting and all that kind of thing. This is what EVE should be. It should be people having a good time, going out, blowing ships up, laughing, making history, telling stories. That's what it should be about. So, about the Imperium, again, as I've said all along, not moving any goalposts on our side, they're smart, they're resourceful, and they're tough opponents in this fight. So, again, we're all EVE nerds to anyone outside of the game. So I will raise a little toast to our friends in the Imperium. Cheers, see you on the grid. Not bad. A little hoppy. Okay, so big thing happened in Brave just this month, which was the 7th anniversary of the Brave Dojo. And the Brave Dojo is one of our earliest things that we got going on in Brave, where when we bring new players in, the dojo has set up to help them out. And it helps them out with videos, it helps them out with classes, it hands out ships, and we do fundraisers for it every year. The dojo is an amazing part of Brave, and the people who work in that dojo are really unsung heroes. So take a moment to think about all the people who, when people come in, put up with all the questions about, and this is how you whisper and mumble, and this is where we live, and this is how you use a contract. All those little things that you've probably forgotten you had to learn, but you did have to learn it. That's what the dojo people do every day, and they've done every day for the last 7 years. So to celebrate them, I was out today and I saw these birthday cupcakes from Hostess. So they're kind of sparkly good. So I'm going to try one and see what it's like. I'm chewing on one side because I had a root canal. Yes. Yeah, it's delicious. It tastes like every other Hostess cupcake. I think they just changed the food color. I don't think they really changed the flavor at all. But that's a birthday celebration for the Brave Dojo. Let's talk about Brave. Brave is growing. So while in the war, we've seen a lot of groups struggle and people peel off and leave and get frustrated, things like that, which happens in space war. Brave has been growing amazingly. Every week we continue to grow. We bring new people in. We've brought corps in, and we are getting stronger, and our group is growing. People are joining us. You see it in the number of people in comms. You see it in the number of people in standing fleets. You see it in our ability to put together fleets to go do stuff in space. So we're growing. And that's a great sign, especially in wartime when a lot of people tend to peel off and do something else. So you should expect more as time goes on, as people are going to want to join us. And that's a good thing. But we want to make sure that we keep our culture intact. And we are really focused on being a place where there's a fun per hour, that you enjoy logging in, you enjoy hanging out with the other people in Brave, and you find it a little bit of a respite from the weary world, as we would say. So when people come on board, they may not be used to our ways, they may be a little concerned, and so I would try and ask you to treat them with a little kindness and understanding that it may be a very different environment for them that they're coming into. But let's stay focused on having fun, not taking this all too serious, and welcoming new people as they join us, because I think we're going to continue to have new people join Brave for the foreseeable future. So, the future. There is a lot of rumors going on around our future. Other people are talking about us. I listen in comms and I hear people talking about us. So, it's time for some real talk. Real talk with Dunk. So the truth is, and the absolute truth is, our future is still up in the air. What we're going to do is still trying to be decided. Number one, because the war isn't over. First thing we have to do is win the war. It's not a foregone conclusion. It takes a lot of hard work. Imperium is not just going to roll over one day and disappear. So we're not close to the end of the war. So I think for us, it may be a little premature to kind of say this is exactly what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So there's a lot of discussions going on. Right now, we're spread across multiple regions, everywhere from Impasse, Phaethobolus, Ketch, Aquarius, and even now into Delve. We've got structures in most of those places and iHubs in most of those places. And people are really putting in a lot of effort to keep those regions going. So when you hear concerns about ISK, and I know Kigali made one of his famous rise from his Odin sleep announcements about ISK. When we're concerned about ISKs, it's not so much about being broke, because we're not broke. It's about planning expansion. So right now, it's a complicated thing when you start talking about multiple regions and how do we build infrastructure in multiple regions. It costs a lot of ISK to do that. There's a lot of complicating factors going on with the future in the game. We have the quantum cores going on. You know that I've posted about that we're kind of reducing our footprint in places we have multiple structures that aren't needed to save on some of these cores. So when we think about we're spread into 4 to 5 different regions and where we might be in the future, we have to kind of plan it out in advance. We have to make sure we have budgeted the money aside to do this kind of thing. And that's where we start to think about, do we have enough money to plan an expansion, as opposed to, can we pay the SRP? So we continue to pay the SRP, we continue to pay all the iHub bills and everything we do. That's not the issue. It's more of a question of, how do we make sure that if we are going to expand the space that we control and live in, that we're doing it smart and that we're not kind of overextending ourselves. So that's what it's about. It's complicated. I wish I could say we have an exact, super detailed plan, but we're just not there yet. So we're working on what are our options, what might the future look like, and we got to win the war first. And then the last thing is CCP is changing a lot about the game. So they're changing things about how mining works, how ratting works, how bounties work. Everything is changing in the game, and so some of the assumptions we might have held a year ago about what is profitable in the game, those keep changing. We've had market taxes change, we've had obviously all the resource changes, the economic changes, all that kind of stuff, and the CCP is showing no sign of slowing down. So we have, as I would say, a multivariable problem, which is not easy to solve sometimes. So, again, Brave is strong, we're doing well, but we have some choices ahead of us, and I will involve you all in what that plan is when we get there, but it feels a little premature to be making a lot of declarations about exactly how we're going to operate when the war is complete, when I don't think we're super close to the war being done. So, I hope that makes sense. Back to the general topics. Get your ships to Delve. There's fights every day. We have IHUB timers, we have structure timers. We're burning a lot of structures there. There's a lot of great kill mills. There are fights. There are capital brawls that are happening. It is a good time to be in Delve next door to the goons. And this is what it's all about. It's about having fun and laughing and joking and not taking this game too seriously. But you can only enjoy that if you're where the front line is. So you're needed. There's going to be lots of fights for the foreseeable future. Get where they're happening. We always need people who do toasting. If you have capitals and you haven't moved all your capitals to the front line, we definitely want all those dreads and carriers and faxes and supers and titans on the front line, because there are going to be some amazing fights coming up. As always, I suggest you do not chase kitey bullshit. I ask you to be brave, but not foolish. So that's about all I have for this Not a SOTA. And we're coming into the holiday season. We just went through American Thanksgiving. We're approaching Christmas holidays, which will be hopefully a lot of fun for everyone and their families, even if we have to be socially distant. So until then, stay classy, have fun, and be brave.